Hello everyone, this is a tutorial for slide gibberish twist. This is the boss module, and for each stage you need to note down the number of the stage, the operator that is encrypted with this table, and the grid itself. First, a little explanation. The grid size depends on the minimal stages required. Not minimal, depends on the stages it has. So in our case we have 8 solvable modules, except for this one, and 8 is the minimal requirement for board size to be 6. So if we have 10 stages, we would have 6 by 6 grid size, 11 to 13 would be 5, 5 to 7 would be 7, 0 to 3 would be 8, 14 or more would be 4. You can see we have 8 modules, so our grid size is 6 by 6. Okay, let's see. We have stage number 6. And how do we decrypt the logical operator? This table works the same as Boolean keypad. It has the first input on top, second input on the right, and says if combination is true or false. So true is going to be true, true false is going to be false, false true is going to be false, false is going to be false. So only true becomes true, so that means the operator is AND. And in the manual you can see the table over here. It has all the possible operators, including not implications right here. So and the grid is going to be always, except for the first stage, red, green or blue. You have some cells lit or unlit. Let's note down the grid. Stage 2. So the operator returns true for everything except false. So the operator is OR. And I will return to you when we have the first stage. Okay, the first stage is always going to be a mix of RGB, 3 RGB grids, red, green and blue. So let's note it down. And don't forget to take the operator, which is XNOR. And the last stage that I haven't noted down yet is everything is true except true false, which is imp. Okay. Now we have our submission grid and the logic grid turned RGB. Here is the number of stages that we need to perform. It can be up to 9. Okay, so what you first need to do is determine which stages are valid. Starting from the first one, the first stage is always valid. So right now we're doing something like forget everything. And just if previous stages are both valid, this one is invalid. If the previous are invalid, this one is valid. Otherwise, if the last stage is operator, previous stages not in the list corresponding to this stage's operator, this stage is valid. So this stage's operator is OR, previous stage's operator is XNOR. If it is in this table, we'll skip it. If it's not, the stage is valid. XNOR is not in this cell, so we calculate this stage. Next stage. Previous two are valid, so this one is invalid. This stage is OR. Previous is XNOR. This one is valid. This XNOR is not here. Next one, NIMPy. Previous is OR. It is in the table, so this one is invalid. And previous is NIMPy. It is in the table, so this one is also invalid. Previous two are invalid, which means this is valid. And the last one, imp. Previous is NIMP, which is not in the table, so this one is valid. Okay. Let's first thing to do is, for convenient calculating, we can split our initial grid into 3 grids, red, green and blue. So first one is going to be red. The colors, the cells that have a red component are this. Yellow has red, cyan does not have red. Cyan white, green, magenta, green. Blue, green, blue, cyan, blue, black, green, blue, magenta, cyan, yellow, cyan. Red, black, magenta, cyan, white, cyan, and magenta, black, blue, red, yellow, green. Next is green. White, red, yellow, cyan, cyan, white, green, magenta, green, blue, green, blue, cyan, blue, black, green, blue, magenta, cyan, yellow, cyan, red, cyan, white, cyan, and magenta, blue, red, yellow, green. And finally blue, white, red, yellow, cyan, 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 white, green, magenta, green, blue, green, blue, cyan, blue, black, green, blue, magenta, cyan, yellow, cyan, red, magenta, cyan, white, cyan, magenta, blue, red, yellow, green. Okay. First, before all, I want to show you the recovery mode and how this works. So you have a table here. Right now everything is deselected. When all three color channels are deselected, you can click this button, white button, and it will start the countdown, which actually is the submit countdown. When it reaches 0, your answer submits. If you have any colors selected, you can press this thing. And you pick the colors with this thing being black to input the desired color. So magenta for blue red, for example, nothing for black. If you have this thing selected, you can if you have this thing selected, when when everything of this is not black, you instead of changing the color, you XOR it. So green becomes cyan. If you have this deselected, this thing will just become can't name it. If you have this deselected, instead of XORing, it would just replace the color. Okay. So if you submit incorrectly, let's see what happens. It shows you green cells on the top left. It doesn't show the position of the correct cells, but the number of correct cells. In our case, it was 2. At this point, and we don't know where exactly they are. At this point, these arrows become white, and you can click them and enter the recovery mode. But when you enter the recovery mode and go back to the submission mode, the new stages will be generated. If you decide to try again the answer with the same stages, when you submit it the second time incorrectly, it will instead show the correct all the correct positions of correct colors and incorrect colors. As you could see, it was here and here. Let's see how the recovery mode works. So press any keys here, and it will start from the stage 1. You can note it down. It stays here anytime until you decide to go to the next stage. With this little screen right here, this number right here shows what stage you are picking. If you don't click anything, it will advance to the stage in a few seconds, as you saw, and show it. Instead, you could just scroll down the stages. For example, let's go to the third one and click any cell on the logic table to quickly go to the stage. As you can see here, instead of waiting, we just immediately advance to that stage. You can hold this arrow if you have a lot of stages to quickly scroll down. Okay, and once you've got all your stages, you can go to the stage, any stage, and click the bottom right cell to go back into submission mode. At this point, the new stages will be generated, and as I said, when you strike again, it will only show the number of correct cells on the top left. in reading order until you strike for the second time on the same set of stages. Okay, now let's solve the module. We have stage 7, 2, 8, 6, 4, 5, 3. Okay, this is initially. Okay, first one is, I'm going to copy this. Okay, first one is stage 7. What we're going to do is use, if the stage is valid, in our case it's yes, we would perform this operator for each cell in the corresponding channel grid. So we would apply the NIMP operator on the blue grid of the previous stage as the first input and the current stage as the second input. So once again, our NIMP operator is returns false for everything except true false. So we're going to change this grid. So, and if on this grid of the first input, which is the previous stage, the color is true, and on this grid of the current stage the color is false, the cell would become true, otherwise it becomes false. So first one is true false, which returns in true. All falses on this grid become falses because, as I said, it only returns true when it's true false. So this one is true true, which returns false. This one is true false, returns true, true false, true true, false, true true, true true, true false, true false, true false, true true, true false, true false, true true, true false, true false, true true. This one is true false, this is true true, this is true true. Okay, we've done stage 7. Okay. I'm going to note down that this is after stage 7. Okay. Okay, next stage is going to be stage 2, which is valid. So our operator is OR. If at least any input for the green channel is true, the green cell becomes true. Okay, so every green cell on this grid is already true because the first input is true. So this one is false true becomes true. This is false 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 false. This is false true, false true, false true, false false, false true, false true, false, false, false false, false false, false true, false true, false false, false true, false false. Okay, we've done stage 2. Oh, I missed one here. Wait, was it actually? Let me double check. Oh, okay, yeah, it was. Okay, we've done stage 2. Next is stage 8, which is valid, unfortunately. Let's see. The operator is implication. So everything becomes true except true false for the red channel. So if the first input is false, it automatically becomes true. But for the true inputs, we need to check if the second one is false to make it false. So red true becomes true, true becomes true, becomes true, true false becomes false, becomes true, true becomes true, false becomes okay, true, everything here becomes true, true false becomes false, true false, okay, true false becomes false, true, okay. Next is stage 6. How do I? Okay, stage 6, which is invalid. You can skip it. Next is stage 4, which is valid. Okay, we've done this. Okay, operator is OR. So if an input has true, it's automatically true. So this one is easy because we have a bunch of truths already. We need to check these 3 cells. So this one is false, which is false. This one is false, which is false. This one is false, true, which is true. Okay. Next one is 5, which is invalid. And then 3, which is also invalid. So we have our final answer, which we can easily input by XORing. We can first input the red channels. We can toggle the thing, input the green channel. And then input the blue channel. And let's see if this is correct. Okay, and this is how you solve the module. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.